Yes, 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 yes! Countdown to the Rise of Skywalker, Part 5. Final thoughts on The Last Jedi. I'm Vibe.
Darth Flexx.
And we're going to give you the last word. Yes, the last word until the next last word of The Last Jedi. Final thoughts. Have we watched it again? Have we now watched it again? How do we feel now and as it leads up to the rise of Skywalker? Darth Flexx. Final thoughts. The Last Jedi.
In the beginning when you first watched it, I was all for it. Now, halfway through the year, you and I sat down. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. Disappointing. I mean, again, visually beautiful.
Beautiful.
Everything was nice to see.
Most beautiful.
The combat was cool.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue is just what happened in the end with Luke. I mean, goddamn, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, there could have definitely been better writing with Luke and Snoke.
Yes.
I just feel like it was done out of spite for some reason. It's just like, come on, man. There's no way you have that. It was bad. It's bad.
Right.
Again, I like the movie, but like, I'm not like, it's kind of how I feel about Solo.
Right.
Like, it was a good movie.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Solo was a movie. It just wasn't by Han Solo. But I don't have the same viral, vicious feelings towards Solo. I'll watch Solo. I actually have watched Solo again. But The Last Jedi is what is just it makes my ass itch. The Last Jedi is still dead to me. If it's up to me, it's not. It would be non-canonical because they ruined Luke without any reason, or the reason that they gave wasn't enough to explain his downfall. They didn't give him a proper redemption. I would have forgiven the entire character of Luke if they just let him die in a blaze of glory in person, not on a rock and disappear. Somehow his robot hand disappears with him. They relegated Chewie to comic relief. R2D2 was non-existent. They turned Poe into from a hero to a chauvinistic, ridiculous, hot-headed flyboy who gets everybody killed. They sidelined Leia just to bring in Admiral Holdo. They absolutely glossed over the death of Admiral Akbar, which would have been great if it was Akbar who was in that role. Why not? Why not give Akbar his due? Why do we just, he's barely there? No, he's dead. He's gone. Whatever. I didn't still do like the force connection between Rey and Kylo. I don't like how it ended. It went nowhere. But I did like that concept. I was hoping that they were going to go somewhere with it. If there was any part of the movie that needed to go in a different direction to subvert us, it was their interactions. They should have come together at the end. That would have left me with something. In the end, the movie was visually stunning, but it was empty. It was hollow. There was nothing to it. It was spinning its wheels, and the story went nowhere, in my opinion. Yes, they found Luke. They killed Luke. Yes, they brought... they revealed Snoke. They killed Snoke, but it didn't progress the story at all. It felt like a long filler. That's what it felt like to me. It was like a filler movie. Nothing of merit happened whatsoever, and that's what upsets me the most is that it's one long chase movie. Yes, Empire was one long chase movie, but the story continued. At the end, there were stakes. There was progression for Luke. I don't think Rey progressed. What did Rey really do? She trained herself with a lightsaber. She confronted Luke about, what happened to Kylo. There was two different stories. And then there was the truth. And she left as she arrived. She gained nothing from this. Not even when she went into... And I think the most insulting part about the Last Jedi was when she went into that dark side butthole and saw a bunch of copies of herself. And she saw nothing. I still don't understand what that meant, to be honest with you. All those copies of herself, show me my family, I touched something and then it's just me. Does that mean that you're enough? Like, what did that really mean? We got no payoff for that. When we went into the cave at Dagobah and he cuts off Vader's head and he sees his own head, that was confusing. But then at the end, when he goes, "No, Luke, I'm your father." Okay, that all right. I see what that is. You're foreshadowing your destiny because of your of how your father was. I get it. So I mean, the Last Jedi, and I've watched The Last Jedi a couple of times, and I have not warmed up to it. I warmed up to Solo. I absolutely warmed up to Rogue One, but The Last Jedi is always going to be a thorn in my side, and I'm always going to hate the um the Last Jedi. And it's funny because I don't hate any of the prequels, I don't hate any of the side quills, but I hate The Last Jedi, and it leaves me with nothing. I mean, in your opinion, does The Last Jedi leave you with anything going into the Rise of Skywalker?
Other than the resistance is done, no.
Right. So, and of course, we see in the trailer, Resistance is not done. They're back. So that's undone. And to be and speaking of undone, how they treated all the cliffhangers of the Force Awakens. Luke, powerful, brooding, looks at the lightsaber, tosses it over his head. Um, the Finn, he literally got raped by Kylo Ren, and that was a slice up his spine. We have, like, what? Where was that gonna go? What was gonna happen? They just everything, all that was undone in the first few minutes of the movie, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then one final thought before I leave: how is the First Order so powerful? How is it possible? They didn't lose a Death Star. The Death Star was lost by the Empire, but the Empire was in control. They had the resources of the entire galaxy. So yes, they could strike back. How did the First Order muster up enough courage and enough ships and whatever to then find their base and blow them out of the sky after they just lost their planet killer? Starkiller Base was a planet. I have to assume most of their top people were there. So when the story began and the First Order is striking back, pun intended, I would have appreciated maybe something different. How about the Resistance were on the offensive and we're chasing the First Order, and then they get to the stronghold and they get pushed back. How about that? Couldn't we have had something like that? So that's kind of what bothered me as well. I have a lot to say about this. I've said so much about it. You guys already know about this, and I think JoeTarro is joining at the very end of this. JoeTarro.
He can join us for the next one.
Yeah, so JoeTarro's here. We're moving. JoeTarro, we just finished discussing our final thoughts on The Last Jedi. Do you want to real quick, discuss your final thoughts on The Last Jedi before we wrap up?
You mean?
Did you hear me?
Are you talking about the trailer?
No, the Last Jedi, the movie. We're doing final thoughts. Did you want to do a quick final thought about The Last Jedi?
Didn't like it.
That's
All right,
perfect.
Cool. Fantastic.
Perfect. All right. And that is the end of that. That's part 5 of the journey to the Rise of Skywalker.
Woo!
Final The Last Jedi. I'm Vibe.
Darth Flexx.
JoeTarro.
JoeTarro on the audio. Wherever he is, I don't know where his video is. So
I'm on remote. I'm doing it remotely.
I got your remote right here. So
Yeah, okay.
next up is the Rise of Skywalker predictions as part 6 of the journey to the Rise of Skywalker continues. Geeking Out is strong in the Force.
Geek Bros. Countdown continues all week.
Who are you?